All right, we are in, we are in the section of your book, um, 29-2. We're going to be adding and subtracting rational expressions on page 449. This is the first example, but like I did with previous videos, I'd like to start off with something that you learned in 4th or 5th grade. So we've got a fraction 1/12, we got a fraction 1/18. They do not have a common denominator, so I want to find the common denominator, and not just any common denominator, because you can always find a common denominator by multiplying the two denominators together. If I multiply 12 times 18 together, I believe I get 216. 216 will definitely work as a common denominator, but it's not the least common denominator. So what you do to find the least common denominator is you factor each denominator into a list of prime factors. Okay, you got to list them all. Notice 12 is, you could do 2 times 6 or 3 times 4, but that's not a prime factorization. What I did was I said 4 times 3, there's the times 3, and then I factored the 4 down to 2 times 2. So the prime factorization is 2 times 2 times 3. That gives you 12. 2 times 3 times 3, that gives you 18. So now to find the least common denominator, we're going to take and make sure that every factor in each denominator is listed. I'm going to say that again. Every factor in each denominator is listed. So in this, I see I've got 2 2's and a 3. Over here, I've only got 1 2. So since this one has 2 2's, this one's going to need another 2. This one only has 1 3, but this one has 2 3s, so this one over here is going to need another 3. So I'm predicting that my least common denominator is going to be 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. But let me show you a way that you can organize your listing. Okay, so I see that we have, let me change colors. I see that we have a 2 here and a 2 here. So I'm going to take the first 2's and I'm going to write it down right here. Now I cancel both of those out because that's 1 2 from each one of them. So I pulled a 2 out. Okay, this one has another 2, this one doesn't, so I have to include that second 2. That one's been written down. Okay, now I have a 3. I'm going to take a 3 from this one and a 3 from that one, and I'm going to write the 3 down. Don't count a factor twice. So I don't write 2 3's down when I cancel this one out. That's just a 3 from each one of them. Okay, but now I still have this 3 to write down. It's not in the other one, but I have to include all the factors. And just like I said, I ended up with a denominator of 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. And what is that? 4 times 9. So I believe it's 36. My least common denominator is 36. And we can go back and change this 1/12 into a 36 by multiplying top and bottom by 3. So 1, remember 3 over 3 has a value of 1. So when I multiply 1/12 times 1, I'm not changing its value. I'm just changing the way it looks. So 1/12 times 1 is still going to give me 1/12, but it's going to look like 3 over 36. Okay, and I put a question mark right there because I don't know about my numerator. I'm just worried about my denominator. Now, can I do the same thing with the 18? I do 1 over 18. I'm going to multiply 1 over 18 times 2 over 2. Why? Because I'm trying to get to 36, and I know 18 times 2 will give me 36. What did I do to the bottom? I have to do to the top. Multiplying 1 over 18 times 2 over 2, 2 over 2 has a value of 1. So when I multiply 1 over 18 times 1, I do not change its value. I'm just changing the way it looks. So 1 over 18 rewritten as 2 over 36. Now you see that I have a common denominator of 36 for each fraction. Okay, and then depending on whether I was adding or subtracting them, then I would mess with the numerators, but I'm not. The least common denominator is found by making a list of all the factors that are present in the prime factorization. Okay, so now let's look at this one that's more complicated. Okay, so we need to factor this one. This one factors. Oh, this one is the difference of two squares. I like that one. That's easy. X plus 4, x minus 4. I don't know why the 4 connects right there. It always makes it look like a 9. Maybe I should start writing my 4s like that 4. Two numbers that multiply together give, this is an easy trinomial, by the way. How do I know it's an easy trinomial? The leading coefficient is 1. So all I got to do is multiply two numbers to get 4, that subtract to get 3. Two numbers that multiply together to give me 4, 4 and 1. 4 minus 1 will give me 3. So that's what are my numbers. I need an x in this binomial, an x in this binomial. They're negative. The product is negative, so I need a positive and a negative. So I can get a negative 4. The sum needs to be negative, so the bigger number needs to be negative. So I'm going to put the 4 with a negative and the 1 with a negative. Okay, so now the least common denominator is going to be, I have an x plus 1, so I have to have an x plus 1. That one's taken care of. I have an x minus 4, so I need an x minus 4. That's been taken care of. Yes, if I have an x minus 4 in each one, I do not have to list it twice. If I listed it twice, I would still get a common denominator. It would not be the least common denominator. I still have an x plus 4. Okay, multiply all those together, you'll have your least common denominator. We're not ever going to multiply them together. That's not what we want to do. The numerator right here, I don't know because it didn't tell me if I'm adding or subtracting those, but this would be the common denominator. Okay, the next thing that we are going to do then is actually add or subtract. So let me jump back to this other one right here and let's go back and let's do both. Let's add and subtract those. So if I started off with a problem that said 1/12 plus 1/18, okay, the first thing I would do is do just like I did and factor the two problems. This is 2 times 2 times 3. This one's 2 times 3 times 3. And then this is 1 on top. This is 1 on top. Now, my denominators are not the same. This one has 2 2's. This one only has 1 2. So this one over here needs another 2. So I'm just going to multiply top and bottom by 2. It's the same thing I did up here. You'll see it ends up being the same. Now, so I have 2 2's here. I have 2 2's here. This one has 1 3. This one has 2 3's. So what do I need over here? I need another 3. So I'm going to multiply this bottom by 3. I'm going to multiply this top by 3. Notice that's what I did right here. You see, I multiplied this first fraction right here was the 1/12. What did I do? I multiplied top and bottom by 3. Over here, this 1/18, I had to multiply top and bottom by 2. So I multiplied top and bottom by 2. So this ends up being 3 over 36 plus 2 over 36. And now for fractions, you can't add them if they don't have a common denominator. But once they do have a common denominator, you simply add the numerators and the denominators stay the same. So this becomes 5/36. And then, of course, if in the end we check to make sure that nothing will reduce, and it doesn't in this case because 5 is a prime number and 36 does not have a factor of 5 in it. And the only thing that would be different if this had been a subtraction problem, nothing would have been different except when at the end when we went to combine them, it'd be 1 over 2 times 2 times 3 minus 1 over 2 times 3 times 3. I would have to get a common denominator here. I have 2 2's, and over here I only have 1 2, so I'd need to multiply top and bottom by 2. Over here, I would need to multiply top and bottom by 3. And then this would be 3 over 36 minus 2 over 36. So my answer would be 1 over 36.